Well, people loved my last video that I did showing all the shenanigans on the Ring cameras. So let's do another update. A little bit more gate updating. I've added this little gooseneck rig here for an exit. And these little batteries, I kept having to swap these things out. So I took two commercial truck batteries, set them up into 24 volt, looping that positive into that negative, and those wiring in. And so now, you know, I think these batteries will last a lot longer than these will. So I can punch in the code here. There we go. And it'll open the gate, and it'll close the gate. It's got this little solar charger, but it just wasn't charging the jack. Nothing. Show you what I did out here. I've decided to mount the camera and key box just right to the wall, right here. Right above the box. You can punch in a code here. This one is the metal commercial version that costs slightly more than the one over there, which is plastic. Because it's in direct sunlight all day, like even touching it is too hot to touch. And I have this Ring camera here with a solar charger on it. We're gonna see how long that lasts. I had to do some work to this gate because I don't know why, but the mechanism was janky. Let's see. It just doesn't want to, I mean, I don't get it. I have jacked with this thing and jacked with it and jacked with it and jacked with it, jacked with it, jacked with it, and it just doesn't want to goddamn work. And I ground a good half of this thing off because it opens a little. There it goes. I can't get, like, look how much I've stubbied this down. See, out here it works. It's got all kinds of lube on it and stuff. All right, I'm not going to show you the code. Hold on. Let's see if it opens. No. I'm just frustrated to death with this piece of shit. Oh, what a piece of shit. It's like a $500 doorknob. And I just don't understand what's wrong with it because it just keeps binding. You know, it just never fucking works. Oh, here comes the gate. Look, I just obstructed it and stopped. I set it for 1 minute. So I think these two big batteries will last a lot longer. And because I was changing these out every couple of days, you know. It's driving me crazy. So we'll see. You know, I got to get the AC wired, but for now, I'll just stick with these. Yes, I know. I read all the comments. You guys commenting about me dyeing my beard. I know I make a mess of it. I normally try to keep it nice and black. I dye it every week. But then I let it go for like a month or so and it turned all gray and scruffy and I just look like hell. So yes, I dye my beard. I also shave my head. There's other things you don't know about me. All right, so anyway, the Ring cameras, you know, I have a Ring camera that's way up on that pole that can see everything. And you could set up zones. So on this Ring camera here, I set up a zone and the zone goes to the edge of this here to the sidewalk. So when people walk by, it doesn't set it up. I've got it so that when you walk right up to it, you get this. Hi, everybody. And it detects when you get right up close to it. Now I can even set it to do notifications and let me know when there's somebody here. Now the mailbox has a mercury switch alarm. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but if I open that, if I go back here, maybe you can hear it. There's a loud alarm that's on the porch. And that goes off to let me know that somebody's tampered with the box. And I can also set up notifications so that when people approach that camera, it'll ding my phone even without them ringing the doorbell. And from that other pole over there, I can get a nice bird's eye view of this whole area. But I'm gonna put another permanently wired camera on this wall over here, kind of hidden behind the bricks that'll shine on the car. And I want it to be plugged in and wired. Now that telephone pole behind me at my neighbor's, My Wi-Fi, I have a mesh wireless Orbi system with 6 units that covers, I have Wi-Fi across the street. All of the light bulbs are all going to be Wi-Fi. So what we're going to do is like the lamp posts, once they're all finished being wired, they'll have an LED Wi-Fi bulb in them. And I'll be able to set those on schedules and on color. So I'll be able to change the colors for Easter and Halloween and Christmas or whatever holiday, or have them dim. Yeah, that's the great thing. I mean, you could buy these light bulbs for a couple of bucks a piece and program them to do whatever you want. That's going to be great. I want to get to a story, and it's a really involved story, and I'm just going to give you a really quick version of it right now. Is that a viewer of my channel reached out to me and said, hey, Bob, I watch your channel. I know your house really well because my wife's aunt grew up there. Her dad built the house. Now, her dad was a Scandinavian immigrant. I think they came from Switzerland or something. They moved here in the 60s. And he was a very skilled sheet metal worker. And which is obvious from all the metal buildings. Now, they started off by building the little white building back there. That little white building was a house. And the first thing that was on this entire property for miles was the little well house next to it that you've seen. So the little well house over there behind the DeLorean over there, they built that in like 1965. And then they built this house. And then for several years, this dude built this entire house by himself, brick by brick. And he wrote about it in his journals. And the only thing that he contracted out was some of the concrete laying, and he had to have some help putting the trusses up on the top of that roof, which is called a gambrel roof, he says in his journal, and also needed some help with the chimney. But otherwise, he did the whole thing by himself. And he bragged about how he did such a good job. He talked about how the fact that normally you'd have a 12-inch foundation, he put in a 20-inch foundation. He said instead of 16-inch studs, he has 8-inch studs. He talked about how this one place was getting rid of all this 3/4-inch decking, and he did the entire outside of the house in 3/4-inch and then put the siding on it. I'm telling you, the house is really, really soundproof, and it's built like a rock. Now, something I didn't know about because I'm kind of new here, I've only been here in Vegas for 3 years, but back in 1988, there was a huge explosion at a plant just down the street from me. It was a plant that made like rocket fuel for the space shuttle, and it exploded, and it was equivalent to a nuclear bomb. It was a big deal in 1988. And for miles, it blew out windows and doors. It injured hundreds of people. And he wrote about it in his journal, and he said, you know, when the Pepcon explosion happened, he goes, it cracked a window and blew open the double doors. He goes, but other places were like major damaged. But he goes, this place is solid. Don't forget, this is the same guy that built the nuclear bunker under the house. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, or actually in the garage, there's a secret tunnel that goes into this little nuclear bunker. It's like a steel tank encased in concrete. Dude was not effing around. Anyway, I'm just really proud to own this house. The man was an amazing, amazing man. I wish I could have known him. And I'm so proud to be the caretaker of this place. It's really built like a rock. And I want to do a video series on that. I want to tell stories about that. You know, if you're going to go out and buy a house, I recommend finding something built in the 60s or 70s. If you're lucky enough to find a house that was hand built by somebody who lived in it, this dude did not cut corners. He was an amazing worker. He talked about how he got the thickest sheetrock that he could. Everything here was used for commercial application. By the way, so what was bringing me to that story was he was telling me that when he was building the houses, when they were building Caesar's Palace, and he got a lot of scrap from Caesar's Palace. Most of this house is the leftover parts from Caesar's Palace. And all that crazy crown molding that I have all throughout the house, that's from Caesar's Palace ballroom. Isn't that crazy? Well, I was already planning on redecorating and doing a bit of a Roman theme. I'm going to have Roman and Greek style statues, decorations and things. And it's so funny to me that I had that inkling. And now that I read in his journal how he used the crown molding and things like that, decorative stuff from Caesar's Palace. Isn't that cool? It's pretty awesome. I have some cool plans for this little area where I used to keep the cop car. I want to do something decorative. Now, what I would like to do is put a water feature here, like a big thing of rocks with a water fountain and a thing of water. That's what I would like to do. problem is you and I know that if I do that, these homeless people will be taking a bath in it and shit. But imagine this was rocked out like this, right? And there was rocks and waterfall, sort of like Shenandoah is, you know, Wayne Newton's house down the street. I just think it would be amazing. But, you know, people are going to mess with it. This boulevard is busy as shit. Look at this. What is it? It's Tuesday at, you know, okay, it's 5 o'clock. But I mean, there's just a tremendous amount of traffic. It's ridiculous. Something else happened the other day, and I cut this out of the video that I posted because I wanted to do some more investigation about it. This happened the other day. Now, it says expel. Now, we don't have any graffiti. We've never had any graffiti on these walls. I'm pretty sure I know who did it because I watched the camera and I watched everybody that walked past here. And there was a particular group of people and this woman was screaming. I'm pretty sure what she said was, "It's been tagged, holla, it's been tagged, it's tagged." And the guy that was right here looked like he might have had a can of paint in his hand, but I didn't get a video of him actually painting it. I'm gonna check the neighbors' cameras. And I was researching expel. Now, funny enough, there's a graffiti remover product called expel. That's funny. And I think there's some kind of graffiti thing that's expel. But I also found some mentioning of a political thing of Palestinian graffiti that would put expel or exterminate the Jews. Now, I thought to myself, you know, since I've heard that the Chicago Black Lives Matter, they were supporting the Palestinians, I was like, I wonder if this is one of those kind of a political hate crime things, that it's an anti-Semitic deal. I don't know. It could be that, or it could be, maybe he's promoting, maybe he works for the company that sells Expel graffiti remover, and he just sprays Expel, hoping that I'll use their product. I don't know. People have mentioned in the comments, you know, people make all these comments, why don't you put up no trespassing signs, and why don't you put up, you know, you're on camera. You know, crackheads don't read cameras. If I wanted to put up signs to deter people, I'd put up signs that say, work boots, or job applications here. That might work, keep these people away. It doesn't work. Crackheads and thieves don't read signs. You can put all the no trespassing signs, they don't pay. UPS guy pulled up and he goes, "Oh, I see you got a gate, you know, how am I going to do the packages?" I go, "Well, you could put them in the vault in the wall." He goes, "When was that there?" Like, when we built the wall a long time ago. You just now noticed it. Really? So you can put up all the signs you want. People don't care. They don't read signs. So I'm just going to hope that I don't get more graffiti on the outside, and I'm just going to hope that I don't have people messing around with things over there. And I hope for these people's sake that if they do scale the wall, if you do scale the wall, please make sure you have proper identification on you so that we can notify your next of kin. That's a good comment. You know, this house has cameras, I don't know, 16 cameras wired in, not to mention the wireless cameras and things. And, you know, the thing is, well, then you got a video of the person, and then what? You know, I think that this is going to be pretty much the end of things, of the people bothering me and stuff. I think that's going to be pretty much the end, I hope. There's still going to be incidents on the wall and the gate and things, but like, it's par for the course. When you live in a major city, one of the most visited cities in the world, you've got a lot of people coming here, and not just like immigrants and things. The immigrants coming here are working, they have jobs. But you have transients coming, you know, flowing in maybe from California or Arizona, or they get flushed out of other places. They are cleaning up downtown, and they're flushing the homeless people out of there. Homeless people like to live in some of the gullies and washes, and the thing is there's a wash down there, and there's another one over there, and then there's a 7-Eleven. So they travel between them to go to the store. And then there's apartments over there, and so there's 2 or 3 sets of apartments and a lot of housing, so thousands of people live over there. And they walk past my house to go to 7-Eleven and Jack in the Box and the other mart. And then if they go really way up the hill, then they go up to the grocery store. So it's a major thoroughfare, and this street is also kind of a shortcut to get to Henderson. Once you cross the major street and you go up to the top of Sunset, you're in Henderson. I'm in Clark County. I'm kind of in the taint of Vegas. I'm taint Vegas, taint Henderson. I'm in Clark County, which is why I can get away with all the stuff I do, because this is a farm. This is technically a farm, and that's why I have a well and a chimney and all the stuff you're not allowed to have. Anyway, I'm gonna go run some errands, and I hope you've been enjoying watching my my other channel, Bob Eats Vegas, where I go out and eat stuff and then I talk about it. That's on Bob Eats Vegas. So check out my other channel if you haven't already. Just watch me eat and watch me either compliment or complain. Somebody was making comments going, "You wear fake glasses." I'm like, these are, where is it? These are Ray-Bans. These are custom prescriptions. That's why they're so thick. I have to wear prescription glasses because I'm old. I have to dye my beard black because I'm old. You know, I'm 74 years old. No, that's not true. Listen, when you get older, your fucking beard turns gray. Your eyes don't work as good, right? Just your hair falls out. You know, hair starts growing out of your ears and shit. I don't know what's going on. But the other thing that happens is you own a house. You have lots of good friends. You have your stuff together. They say life begins at 40, and that's true. And in the almost 10 years that I've been 40, my life has changed tremendously. And I'm so lucky and so grateful that I get to live here in Las Vegas in this wonderful place. And I get to live in this wonderful house built by that amazing man. And I'm so grateful and thankful to all of you who watch my videos. And I get a tiny fraction of a penny from everyone. And I figured out the math. The math is for every 1,000,000 views that you get, you make about $5,000. That seems to be the math. And so if I make like 1,000,000, if I could make 2,000,000 views a month, I could make 10,000 a month, and I could pay all my bills just from YouTube, because that's almost what it costs to run this place and my business. So if everybody will keep watching the commercials, like, share, and subscribe, I might one day be completely fucking lazy and I won't have to work at all.
Subscribe to Videobob because I know where you live, bitch.